Hi. Not only in this video we are going to start with what is Bitcoin and why do we need it, but let me remind you that this is the starting of our second module, and that is cryptocurrency. So in the starting only I told you, right, that we are going to divide our course into 3 modules, and this is the starting of our second module, which we are going to start with what is Bitcoin and why do we need it. So let's start. So we are going to understand the history of Bitcoin. We are going to understand the why. Why do we need Bitcoin? What is the problem with our current financial system? Okay, so let's start with this. So all these things started in year 2008 when US economy was very bad. Nearly 9 million people lost their job and nearly 1.8 million small businesses got closed. And not only this, Wall Street of USA, stock market of USA, you can think of it like that, was on its knees. And the greatest bank, the biggest bank of USA, Lehman Brothers Bank, a billion-dollar valuation bank, got closed during this period of time in USA. And you can understand the impact of that situation by this picture, where people were revolting against the government, people were revolting against the banks because they have lost all their savings, because the people who are just going to retire, they have lost all their retirement money. People who were saving for their child education has lost all their money, child education money. People who are going to buy home, they do not have any money left in order to buy home. So situation was very, very painful at that point of time. Now you must be thinking why all these things were happening. And the reason for this is banks, the banks of USA. Because of the foolishness of banks, US economy was in such a bad situation. And not only this, the US government was supporting this foolishness of banks, right? US government was supporting these foolishness of banks. And now let us understand what these banks were actually doing. As we all know, banks make profit by lending you money, right? So when they lend you money, they charge interest on it, and that's how they make profit. Now, year 2008 or a year before that, banks started lending money to people who were not capable enough to return back the money. Now, you must think why they will do that. Like, what was the reason for doing that? And the reason was simple: greed. According to banks, at that point of time, they thought that if we are lending money to someone, they will repay back. Who is not going to repay back the money? So they were lending money to people or anyone who was just coming to the bank and asking for loans. And these type of loans are called subprime loans. Means when you are lending money to someone who is not capable enough to return you back the money. So since they lended money to people who are not capable enough to return back the money, so after some point of time, bank started going into loss. And that's simple, right? Because they have lended money to people who are not capable enough to return back the money, so they start having losses. Now, to prevent situation like these, the US government start sending money to these banks. Just imagine, because of the foolishness of bank, all these things started, and US government was not punishing them but rewarding them with money. They were lending them money, they were giving them money so that the banks can operate in a proper way. Now you must be thinking, what kind of justice is that? Because of the banks, the USA was in that situation, and US government is supporting that. And yes, that's true. This is the true story. And after this incident, a question was raised. Question that, can we trust our banks? Can we trust our government when it comes to money matters? And the answer was clearly no. And do not think that this was the first mistake, or do not think that this was just a mistake which just happened for the first time. No, this is not something which has happened for the first time. If you will look back to the history, you will see that a lot of time these type of things has happened in the history also, where banks and government were doing something, both of them got greedy or something, and they started manipulating the money situation of that particular country, of that particular area. And at that time only, when situation was so worse, when everything was getting destroyed, at that time only Bitcoin was born. And who is the inventor of Bitcoin? Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, whether he's a person, whether it is a team of person, whether he's a male or a female. Nobody knows anything about Satoshi Nakamoto, but he is the inventor of Bitcoin. Now, what is Bitcoin, right? We have understood like why, what is the problem with our current financial system? It is under the control of our centralized authorities like banks or governments. Now let us understand what is Bitcoin, how it is different from these banks, these governments, because these are the people who are actually controlling the money. They control the supply of money. They control everything related to money. Let us understand how Bitcoin is different from these money, right? These currencies, actually, fiat currencies, actually. Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency without a central bank or single administrator that can be sent from user to user on the peer-to-peer Bitcoin network without the need for intermediaries. So if you will look at this Bitcoin, it is a decentralized cryptocurrency. Decentralized, what do I mean by decentralization? It means that nobody is controlling the Bitcoin. There is no single person who has a control over Bitcoin. It is a digital currency. Okay, so currently the currency that we have is a fiat currency, which is controlled by the government. It is a digital currency. It does not require any central bank or any single administrator, and it can be sent over a P2P network. We have talked about a P2P network, right? So it can be sent from one user to another using a P2P network, and it does not require any intermediaries. And it uses a technology called blockchain. And we will see the difference between Bitcoin and blockchain in our upcoming video. So don't worry about it. But for now, blockchain is a technology that is being used by this Bitcoin cryptocurrency. Okay. So this is how for a Bitcoin, like this is how a Bitcoin network looks like, where people are connected with each other. It is a P2P network, right? Where you can see that people are connected with each other and people can transact cryptocurrency with each other. It is a decentralized distributed network. So no anybody who wants to send money and anybody who wants to actually send Bitcoin, receive Bitcoin can happen over this network. Now the next question that you might have in your mind, that if we talk about our fiat currency trust is based on our government. If the government of a country is well, then the fiat currency is also good, right? If the government is in an unstable position, then this fiat currency will be worthless. Okay, and we will see the example of this also in our upcoming videos. But for now, just remember that the trust of our fiat currency is actually based on our government. But when we talk about our Bitcoin, the trust is on these algorithms, these mathematical problems with the help of which this Bitcoin is actually built. And don't worry, you do not need to learn all those mathematical things. There is no mathematical problem to solve. I know many of you must be thinking, oh no, does it contain maths? No, it does not contain maths. Just don't worry about it. I'm just trying to tell you here is that Bitcoin uses mathematics. Okay. And yes, if you want to learn more about this financial situation of USA in 2008, how banks, how this type of situation arise in USA because of the foolishness of banks, I will recommend you this movie. This is a great movie. All these actors are great actors. So you must watch this movie if you want to learn more about it. And there might be this question also, can this mathematical equation can be wrong or algorithm can be wrong? So let me tell you, like 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, right? It does not matter whether you are doing 2 plus 2 equal 2 plus 2 at in USA, in India, or in Brazil, whatever place you choose, it is always be going to 4, right? In the same way, this mathematical equation, these algorithms that are used in order to build this Bitcoin works 100% all time. Okay, so you are not trusting this, no, any single person or something. You are actually trusting this equation, this algorithm. And this equation, the beauty of this equation is that it is totally available, open source. You can read about it. So it is not something which is hidden from you. You can go and just type Bitcoin GitHub repository and you can see all the source code available there. Okay, and it is not that it has just started, it is since 2008. A lot of people have already seen this open source code, but if you are thinking, look, I cannot trust this, so just go and type bitcoin github repository, and you can find all the documentations, all the mathematical codes that are being used in order to build this bitcoin. Okay, and this is how bitcoin ecosystem looks like. We have a miner who solves the mathematical problem in order to create a block. We have nodes means these are the people who are actually transacting, means these are the people who are sending bitcoin from one person to another. So these are called nodes. Okay, so the system that you see are actually nodes. Okay, I'm just representing it with these person, but definitely these are actually computers only. Your computers or your laptops are actually working as nodes. Those laptops can also work as miners also. Okay, it all depends upon the, like, what do you want to be. So you have to install a software, bitcoin client software, and then you can choose either to be a miner or you can choose either to be a node. Or if you have become a node, you will be doing regular transaction, verifying and validation of the blocks. If you will become a miner, then you have to solve the mathematical problem. Then we have large mines, right? And we will talk about these large mines, which are actually using the whole, like a group of miners are there who is solving these mathematical problem in order to create the block. And this is the mining pool, means where group of miners are, these group of miners are working together in order to solve. So these large miners are actually these mining pools only. So they form a mining pool in order to do this in order to solve this mathematical problem, in order to create a block. Okay, so I hope you like this video. If you have any doubts, please comment below. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel, because I am regularly going to upload new blockchain courses on this channel. This is my Instagram ID. You can join me on Instagram, where you can directly interact with me. And this is my Discord link, means not my Discord link, actually blockchain community Discord link, where there are 2000 plus members as the time of recording this video. You can join this Discord community in order to solve your doubts. So meet you soon in the next video. Bye bye.